USA, the quarterfinal stage of this World Cup tournament.
Tori will now have the introduction of the players as they come out, and at number 1 for Hong Kong, China, it is Guillermo Torreira, the 8-goaler. He's been very effective up at number 1. Number 2, nephew of the great Tommy Llorente, is Facundo Fernandez Llorente. And at back, the number 3, John Fisher.
Again now for the USA lineup. And playing at number 1, is that Del Walton, or do they?
Del Walton, that's him.
Indeed. At number 2, Polo Escapite, playing the number 2 position. And at number 3, last but not least, Tommy Biddle. And again, unlike, well, more polo for our polo purists, unlike field polo, we will only be playing with 3 players in the arena.
Correct. Instead
of the four chukkers, unlike the round robin stage of this, where we only played 3, we have 4 chukkers being played and a golden goal or a penalty shootout, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. If we're all tied up, as has been the case all the way through the tournament up till now, we will be going into a penalty shootout if they're all tied up at the end of the 4th chukker. Tommy Biddle, I don't know if you know this one, Tori, but he was 10 goals as an arena player in the United States. So he's been very effective at the back for the US team till now.
Oh, wow. So that is, well, again, Hong Kong, China, I think the favorite, but you never know.
You never know.
Tommy Biddle, I think you've seen these teams, both teams play thus far. Any predictions?
Look, with the form that they've been playing, you'd have to go the host nation at the moment. Tommy Biddle's game, with all his penalty hitting's been a little bit off, and it has been a very important part of the game up till now. But it's now come out up onto the boards, and it's Facundo Llorente getting the line there, leaving it. Big neck shot through to the number 1. Our 8-goaler here, Guillermo Torreira, now takes it near side, then back onto the stick side. And who's back there? The 4-goaler, Llorente for Hong Kong, China. Gets hooked out of it, and the lovely big shot there now by Polo Escapite. Gets up to the front, but John Fisher playing a great positional play there at the back and cleans it up. Now it's gone across to the boards. Del Walton, 3 goals, all the way from Aiken in the United States. Just big ride off there by Llorente, but not enough to keep him off the ball. And he's left it now behind for Tommy Biddle Jr. Let's see what he can do here. Brings it through. Big hook there by Torreira, but Biddle keeps the ball. Can he roll it through? Now Fisher gets enough on it to keep it out of harm's way, and the first man onto it's the man of the moment, Llorente, taking full use of this nice smooth pitch that they've got here. He's going to hit it through. And he can't get it across to Facundo Llorente. So Biddle just cleans it, tries to clean it up, doesn't. Polo Escapite plays it near side, and the whistle's gone.
So it looks like that will be called against Escapite.
Correct.
Not mistaken. And then we get to see that again, crossing just right in front of Guillermo Torreira.
He was pretty right there from the first play, but the line had definitely changed in favour of Llorente there, and he turned that pony onto the line very quickly. And for those of you at home that aren't 100% certain of these rules, once that ball is hit in a certain direction, a line has been created, and it's the first person that can turn their pony onto that line that has the most right of way. And the ball changed direction there, and the Hong Kong China player was the first one onto it. And if the United States player there, Polo Escapite, had left it alone, he probably wouldn't have created the penalty. But it'll be John Fisher now just to hit that ball. And the hand is up, so it's Hong Kong, China, Tori. First one's on the board.
First on the board. And interesting, throughout the event thus far, arena polo does cause, I think, to the naked eye, a lot of congestion, and we're seeing a lot more penalties than you would in open play or field play.
Exactly, and that's probably the main reason why there is only 3 aside. You mentioned before how the grass polo is normally 4 aside, but there's only 3 here. Part of that is because of that congestion, and the size of the field is a lot smaller.
Wow, and you would have just seen a fantastic goal by Tommy Biddle, taking the ball out of the air there.
Yep, I told you, 10 goals in the arena, and there's some of those skills coming to the fore. He popped that one out of the air. We might get a nice replay of that one.
And a quick response from the USA, leveling the score at 1 apiece.
Torreira dribbling the ball now. He'll go left, then he'll go right, but he's left, and he's left it behind. And I've made a lot of mention in the previous games now as getting field position, and it's so important to get that ball up into your attacking half, get it over that advantage line, because you can get an unlucky bounce just like you saw there. And if that's 10 metres out from your own goal, it's danger time. So you can see the Hong Kong China team just trying to get this ball up over that halfway line, which they've just on the halfway line now, and it's John Fisher taking the ball forward. He's clear now by about 2 horse lengths, running the ball to goal. It's a great approach shot by Hong Kong China. All he's got to do is run it through, and it's John Fisher. Hong Kong China back in front.
And John Fisher, Director of Stable Operations here at the Metropolitan Polo Club. You get a slow-mo of his run there.
He knows this pony so well, Tori. Like, I'm sure there's a little bit of advantage to being the Director of Stable Operations. He'd know a few of these ponies quite well.
Ball back in play.
Great attacking shot, a long way up the field there by the USA. And look, big ride-off by Del Walton now, and he's taken Fisher out of it. Can he run it through for the United States? He does. It's end-to-end polo here.
Indeed, United States responding. It's goal for goal at the moment. Again, it was evident in that goal by Tommy Biddle as well. The ball is much larger and lighter than your standard polo ball as well.
Correct. And it has been a problem for some of these players adjusting to that lighter ball when they've been taking their penalties, that the ball does curve.
But we've had what looked like another
They must have
quick goal
While
from
we
the
were watching
USA.
the replay,
Yes,
the USA's
indeed.
player got another one in, so they're now 1 in front. The United States have turned the tables, and it'll be Guillermo. And this is what I was saying to you before. Again, got to get that ball out of there from the hit-in, because you get an unlucky bounce or it hits the leg of a pony, and the opposition can easily score. And that's what looks like what's happened for the United States here. Escapite running onto that line. He's copped a mallet in the elbow or something. He's grimacing in a bit of pain there. Escapite for the United States.
And these colder climates won't make him feel any better.
No.
But here's highlights from that last goal, and it looks like
this. He's left it behind. Biddle takes it forward, backs it, just had a pot shot to try and get it close, and it went straight through.
So that's 2 impressive goals from Tommy Biddle.
They said in the pre-match interview that they were going to be tougher and harder than the previous games, and he certainly wasn't wrong.
So I don't know if there was actually a penalty called, or if there was just an inadvertent.
I think for safety reasons, they just, when someone's grimacing like that in such a small locality, they are close to the action, they just blow the whistle for safety reasons. So they'll just have a throw in here. And the ball's been thrown in now with Biddle at the back, being taken out of it by Torreira. Torreira keeps the ball, dances. He probably has to do something with it now, but he's being pushed off the ball there by Biddle. Hard riding there by Tommy Biddle. Big swing that hits the boards there right in front of the crowds here at the Metropolitan Polo Club. And now John Fisher looking for the equaliser for Hong Kong China. A minute left on the clock now. Big back shot required by Del Walton, doesn't quite get it. Now Escapite gets the back shot, looks for the deflection off the boards, gets it. Now taking it forward on the near side again, pops up on his stick side, but there's a Hong Kong China player right there. And Torreira appeals for the foul.
Escapite also claiming that he had the line. And there's some debate amongst the USA team.
I think they're going to say that you're right, Escapite did think he had the line, but in doing so, he's probably ridden under the shot of Torreira here. So this will be Torreira trying to play the ball, and they're saying, well...
It looks like you must confer with the umpires on that call.
Tommy Biddle, back shot. Lovely little tail shot across field now. Big near side required by John Fisher, does so, gets it over to the boards. It's not going to be all that helpful in that far corner. It's still a long way from the goal mouth, but here's the man, the 4-goaler, Facundo Llorente, leaves it behind now for Tommy Biddle, who needs to get it away from the goal mouth. Facundo leaves it first onto the line. Torreira, will he get ridden off by Del Walton? Doesn't, but yeah, whistle's gone there. So right on that 30-second hooter, what's happened is
Tommy Biddle is actually playing without a head on his mallet for the last 2 minutes. He was actually striking the ball with just the shaft of the...
Oh, look, there it goes.
So, but impressively, he actually played 2 shots just with the shaft.
So the American players there just hooking Guillermo Torreira after he'd been fouled. So the fouling player then moved out of the way, but then he was hooked by the second United States player. And as such, it'll be John Fisher looking to equalise here with 30 seconds left on the clock.
John going for a hat-trick of goals at this stage.
Oh, he got some wood on it, but not enough. So they're 3 apiece with 24 seconds on the clock, and the locals going crazy.
Just a slow motion recap of that penalty shot. It was defended, but again went through the post.
Not well enough. Now Escapite claiming the line, mallet in the air saying that's my line. Now trying to get past Facundo Llorente, who backs it onto the boards. First one there, Guillermo Torreira with no one on him, but that's the end of the first chukker. And we've got ourselves a tied-up ball game now. 3 goals to John Fisher, 2 goals to Tommy Biddle for the United States, and 1 for Del Walton.
USA is definitely are making a strong impression here in this first chukker.
It's very close. Anyone could win it from here, and we'll be back shortly.
And welcome back to the Fortune Heights Snow Polo World Cup 2014. We're in the quarterfinal stage of this World Cup polo event. I'm Tori Dorsey in the studio with Adam Buchert. We've gone back to live action with the USA all equal with Hong Kong, China at the moment at 3 goals apiece.
That's right, Tori, and it's the United States on the attack. They were momentarily, now they're going back in defence, with Escapite now having to back that one there. Not an easy shot when the ball's right up against the boards, but a near side now by Tommy Biddle. Not enough though, it's backed out of there by John Fisher. Big back shot, good ride off by Guillermo Torreira on Escapite, and then turning the ball. Tommy Biddle was onto that. He knew the rules, and he showed them to the umpire that he was turning the ball there when he shouldn't have been. So you'll see big ride off Escapite to keep Guillermo away from that ball there, which was great to start. Then as he turned it, Tommy Biddle rode up the line, unmanned, unmarked, and as such it was a penalty against the host nation, Hong Kong, China.
And for our general viewers, you can liken this to driving a car where you must stay in your lane. And it is subject to the opinion of the umpires here.
Correct, yes. It's all, it's very ambiguous.
USA now on the attack with the ball in the Hong Kong, China half of the field, looking for a 4th goal.
Lovely approach shot by Biddle. It got it into the strike zone and they put it through.
Looks like that
Great goal there by the United States.
I believe Escapite took that out of the air.
Out of the top of the bounce, out would have been up above his shoulders, and it's now the USA putting their nose in front again with Guillermo Torreira trying to get this one out of his defensive half. Push the line! Backs it up the boards. First one there is going to be Fisher, but he's still going to have to get past Escapite. Fisher goes, gets hooked out of it by Escapite, who's left it behind for Del Walton now. Del Walton with a big back shot straight onto the stick side now of Escapite out to the centre of the field. He's going to be covered there behind by Tommy Biddle. Tommy Biddle protecting, but big ride off there by Facundo Llorente, and gets the back shot onto it. But back there in defence is the #1 for the United States, Del Walton. Beautiful approach shot, Del Walton, first one onto it. Will it be Escapite running through another one? It is! Goal time for the United States, Tori.
They do indeed. Now going ahead 5-3. That's 2 consecutive goals for Polo and Escapite.
Certainly is.
And was all set up by that that back shot there, that big back shot from Del Walton.
Well, it's the defence of Del Walton and the Americans. You know, they're just not letting the Hong Kong Chinese team out of their own half. And when things can happen, anything can happen when it's down here in your own half, and the Hong Kong Chinese team just can't get it. But look at that for a great goal there. POLOIST Kapite showing the skill that got him selected onto this team in the first place, and the whistle's now gone.
You must say, Del Walton really taking Guillermo Terrera out of play here. I mean, Terrera over the last 2 editions of this event was the real superstar.
Exactly, and that's he's just made up 5 goals because he's a 3-goal player taking an 8-goal player out of the equation. It's a huge thing to have someone like that in your team.
USA being awarded another penalty, and momentum definitely shifting north.
Certainly.
It's like Tommy Biddle take this shot, certainly capable of putting it in to a very advantageous position for his teammates.
Well, we've seen him earlier in the tournament. He could probably put it through from here if he gets the right wind. And so you can see there he had the right length. It's just his accuracy was off slightly. And Hong Kong, China will breathe a sigh of relief. And let's see if they can get up over that advantage line now as the grooms just warm the ponies up in the background. Again, back shot there, but it's gone out over the boards into the crowd.
And the excitement of arena polo, you can see how close the spectators are to the actual field of play. You can almost, they could reach out and touch the ponies.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of the game. This snow polo, arena polo, you can get right up close to the action. You've got, most of your body protected from the ball. The ball's not that hard, so it's not going to cause too many major injuries if you do cop the ball. And you can get right up close, whereas the big field, it's a long way away. And the ball stays in the field of play, and it's now Del Walton going back in defence, but he goes for the back shot. Facundo Llorente's pony was underneath the mallet there, and now Del Walton taking it forward. He's going to have to go. Take the man first before he plays the ball, but it's going to be Facundo Llorente on 4 goals, getting the ball, getting through the traffic, leaves the ball behind now for the number 1, Guillermo Terrera. Can he put it through? He does, and narrows the gap. But he looks like he's shaking his head in the... No, they've awarded the goal.
They have indeed awarded the goal, and that's the first we've seen of Terrera, and here we get a slow-mo shot of that goal.
Weaving his magic. Maybe he got hit. He just, for someone who just scored a goal, he didn't look very happy, did he?
No. The ball is back in play. POLOIST Kapite controlling the ball at midfield.
And there he goes again, POLOIST Kapite, but he's hooked out of it now by Llorente, who gets it, trying to get the back shot, got the hook, which is just as good. Here he is now, Escapite, the pony just moving a little bit too far off the line now. Del Walton, can he get it? Can't do much with it. John Fisher goes for the clearing shot. He's had 2 swipes at it, and it's still down there. Now, Tommy Biddle turning it, appealing for a foul, gets it near side now. And umpire saying he didn't move him off the line enough to play that ball.
And it's very subtle. How do you really, it must be a challenge for the umpires to determine possession when you've got all of the ponies and players grouped, as you see there, as right. One.
Yep.
We have 5 to 6 players huddled around the ball claiming possession.
Exactly. It could have been any number of fouls in that melee there.
But it looks as if it's been awarded to Hong Kong, China by the placement of the ball, or there's still some discussion.
Yep. So when the 2 umpires, Tory, but 2 umpires can't agree, they will go to a throw-in.
And that looks like what's about to happen.
And sometimes if they do require further assistance, there is a referee, 3rd man, and today's game, the 3rd man is JJ Alberti from Argentina. But this coming out of the line out now with a big back shot into the traffic, which wasn't all that effective, was the United States. But now the man, Guillermo Terrera, brings it around. He's still within his half, and that's the danger zone there. But here he comes, POLOIST Kapite for the United States. Went for the big neck shot, but I think it was in a hoof mark and it popped up in front of him. Terrera now appealing for the line, and an unintentional foul by Pelon, I should say.
Escapia, he was indeed trying to get out of the way.
He was trying to get out of the way.
I think he knew he was an obstruction to play, but I think, appealing for a foul either way. I think he was clear that he was the offender there. Ball put back into play by Guillermo Terrera.
Big back shot there. Very important shot, keeping that ball inside this half for the United States team. Now Tommy Biddle gets around on the little black pony. He's going to have to get that back shot quickly before Facundo Llorente was onto it. But the first man back there now, Del Walton, he's on a very clever little back shot to Escapite. And because Escapite left the line there and Guillermo Terrera was onto the line, it looked like Nico Scortacini, the second umpire here, was right on that line, and he blew the whistle.
So Terrera, a very clever player, riding himself into a position to claim the foul.
Yeah.
But again, we've gone to a throw-in. Foul not deemed blown a whistle again.
Yeah. Much to Tommy Biddle's disgust, he cannot believe that they've actually blown that. I think they may be blowing it for a sandwich because Pelon Escapite did everything right as far as he was concerned. He took the man, and but I think there was another man on the other side which has created a sandwich, and as such the both umpires have agreed on this one that they've blown the whistle, and it'll be Hong Kong China trying in vain to get out of their half. Lovely approach shot there by Guillermo Terrera, now up to Facundo Llorente for Hong Kong China. Escapite for the United States doesn't get the distance that he wanted. Terrera getting another whistle there.
And I think with the frustration on Pelon Escapite's face, he's not quite clear why he's being a constant offender at the moment.
Well, the one I'm thinking here, he's got the bounce. Yeah, it's a tough call. I think they're going to say that he was over the ball and couldn't, and which didn't allow Terrera to come down the line. But Terrera will get a penalty from the spot into the pony, which was unfortunate for him. Now it'll be Escapite taking the ball forward across the field. And we've got 30 seconds left on the clock now, and 30 seconds for either team to score. It's still inside the United States half, but with the size of the shot here from Tommy Biddle, look, it's straight up. Del Walton wasn't looking whether it was coming or not. Escapite's gone for it, and it's gone wide to the left. Only just.
A gallant effort from Escapite to end that second chucker.
Del Walton lost sight of that ball there, and Escapite had a big neck shot, and there was not much in it at all, Corey.
And that signals the end of the second chucker in this 4-chucker quarterfinal match. The USA leading by 5 goals to 4.
Yeah, great chucker there by the United States, and putting all the pressure back on the host nation and the favourites.
Now the combination of Tommy Biddle and Escapite certainly making their mark. We'll take a short break and return to the Fortune Heights Snow Polo World Cup. And welcome back to Tianjin, China. We're at the Metropolitan Polo Club for this quarterfinal match. USA versus Hong Kong, China. Fortune Heights Snow Polo World Cup. I'm Tori Dorsey in the studio with Adam Buchert. We're at fieldside, bringing you all of the action.
We sure are, Tori. The coverage has been fantastic from Now Sports, and the umpires just waiting for the teams to get themselves into a line. They might be confirming something with Terrera, the captain of the Hong Kong Chinese team.
Again, we'll be playing 4 chuckers in this quarterfinal. At present, 5-4 for the USA. In the event of a tie, we will be going to a penalty shootout at this stage of the tournament. We can have no tie.
Well, that's, you know why, Tori? It's sudden death. So he who loses today is on the plane tomorrow. And neither team's here wanting to give an inch. Maybe they're just trying to clarify a rule or a couple of the penalties that were blown in the first chuckers as to why, and so they can make sure they don't do it again. But the ball's now come out onto the stick side of Biddle, who's just backed it to himself, goes around, but a good hook there by Guillermo Terrera. Now it's the United States in defence, which we didn't see a lot of this in the second chukker, whereas the United States were in their defensive half, and very quickly it's Del Walton who's brought the ball back over the advantage line, and it's now Facundo Llorente, the number 2 for Hong Kong China, backing it to the boards. Tommy Biddle takes the man and reads it well. Then Escapite tries to keep Fisher out of it and gives Biddle plenty of time to set the play now. Del Walton with Torreira, and Torreira now trying to get to Tommy Biddle Jr., but he's again being kept out of it. Tommy Biddle now was ridden out of it beautifully by Facundo Llorente, who's now come up with the ball and he's taking it forward, but it'll be Del Walton for the United States going in for the ride-off. Umpires deemed it wasn't under the shot, and now Tommy Biddle through the traffic. Players appealing and the whistle's gone.
And Tommy Biddle appealing for possession there. I think John Fisher disputing that call, but
well, we'll see in a minute, but it's testament to how much both teams want this, and a win here today will get them into the semi-finals on Saturday.
Indications are that has been awarded to the USA.
Yes.
Should put them 2 goals clear of Hong Kong China.
Now, because of the soft ball here, Tori, you'll see Tommy Biddle won't come into this exactly straight. He's got a very unorthodox action. You might have seen on some of the earlier games that were televised live back to Hong Kong, but he has a tendency to curve these balls when he hits them, if he hits them quite hard, and so he doesn't always approach the ball exactly straight. See the curve he put on that one, but he read it very well and it's gone straight through. So I love it when I make a prediction and it actually comes good on television.
Oh, credit to his arena experience, obviously playing the well, I don't know what you would call it as a golfer, the slice on the ball.
If you're in cricket, you'd call it the swing ball. But it's now for Llorente, hooked out of it by Escapite. But it's still Hong Kong on the attack. Lovely shot, and Escapite changes the line very quickly. He's got enough space to do that, and then he gets the forward shot, but it pops up in the air. Not a great play for him because it's been taken off him by Torreira, who can't control the ball. It's now being left for Facundo, who's ridden out of it hard by Del Walton. Great play, Walton. Now, look, good little hook there by Tommy Biddle on the 8-goaler, and Torreira just keeps the dream alive momentarily, and it's back to Biddle, riding hard the pony, just trying to get the next, doesn't know whether he's going to go next near side or stick side, and because of the indecision.
And the debate's all happening right in front of us here.
I think the...
someone's lost a whip. Again, you see the action.
Hook there, hook
back
there.
to the boards.
He had it stick side, then he went the half go near side, but due to that, the umpires couldn't agree, and they're going to have a throw in here on the boards.
Again, there's still some discussion.
Can we hear what they're saying from here,
I
Tori?
think they've got they was just trying to collect a loose ball, as well as there was a whip on the field of play that someone had inadvertently dropped.
So, umpire Scorticini at the back, while umpire Bethel throws it in, and it's the big man, Tommy Biddle, not getting the best bounce there. That ball changed directions very quickly now and put it straight onto the stick of Llorente, who couldn't convert, and now it'll be Torreira getting it out of the top of the bounce, gets it cleanly but leaves it behind now for Biddle to back straight up to the line. Who'll be first onto the line? Del Walton had to play that near side. He couldn't come across there and take it on the stick side, and as such it will be the Hong Kong China team with a spot penalty. For those people at home, you'll sometimes see penalties in front of the goal mouth. Other times you'll just see the goals out in the middle of the field. That's generally given to the team who is not attacking their goal mouth when the penalty is given. So if they're riding away from their goal mouth when the penalty is given, they will just give the penalty on the spot. And it's now Torreira for Hong Kong China. He's taking the long way around, isn't he, Tori?
He is indeed. Just trying to put his mark
there
on the
with
team.
Fisher.
There's John Fisher.
Will he convert from here? Oh, unlucky Fisher. And Big ride-off there, Escapite on Facundo Llorente. Big ride-off. And Facundo not phased at all. Backs it beautifully, but it comes off the belly of Tommy Biddle's horse. Tommy Biddle onto that line, and John Fisher just riding straight down the line. Big hook there by Escapite. Fisher appealing for the foul hook, doesn't quite get it. Tommy Biddle misses the near side, now leaves it for Torreira. He's got space. This is danger time for the USA. Backed out of it, Escapite. And now a big neck shot by John Fisher, but it comes off the leg of Tommy Biddle's pony for the United States, and the whistle has gone.
And I believe that's going to be called against Torreira. Looks like Escapite, he had the line in that instance. But aggressive play here. Ooh. Really aggressive play from Polo and Escapite in particular.
Yeah, that was a big ride-off. Escapite put on Facundo Llorente earlier, and it was just unfortunate. But, so it looks like the United States will get the penalty on the spot, and with an opportunity now to get it out of their half. I don't think that's a penalty there. I think he's just actually moving the ball forward a little bit.
2:35 remaining in this third chukker. USA leading by 2 goals, 6-4 against defending champions Hong Kong, China.
Well, I wouldn't have credited this scoreline at the end of the third or halfway through the third chukker, that's for sure. But as we said, anything can happen on the snow, and here's Fisher turning defence into attack for Hong Kong, China. Keeps the ball alive now. Tommy Biddle going for the near side hook, couldn't quite get it. Now the ball's come up with Escapite, who's pushed it forward onto Fisher's stick, but Fisher was parked across the line in doing so, and the umpires will give the penalty to the United States, I think.
Looks like we've got Polo and Escapite doing a quick change of pony.
Yeah, so you can see Fisher here at right angles to that line, and then Escapite coming down the line and hitting John Fisher's horse with his chest of his horse, and that's a foul. So Hong Kong, China again doing a lot of defence, but they're doing it well at the moment. They are keeping the United States in their half. And here we go. Biddle, 10 goals in the arena, appealing for a line there, didn't get it. Oh, Escapite went for the pretend back shot there and then kept it and took it forward. Then he gets an unlucky bounce after doing all that good work. Quite disheartening there for the American now. It's being taken around the front by Guillermo Torreira. Escapite trying to get to it, leans out and gets the hook and then gets the back shot, but not enough on it. Umpire trying to get out of the way as John Fisher weaves his way through the traffic. And
again, Del Walton at fault there. John Fisher definitely had the line of play against the boards and moves immediately to the spot, anticipating a penalty.
Well, almost encouraging the location of the but, you know, Del Walton there's not a lot he could do. He was on the boards. It wasn't like he moved his horse to the line. The line popped up there for him, and he got the deflection off the boards. And unlucky, I suppose, for Del, because, again, there wasn't a lot he could do. But the umpires are always right, Tory.
And John Fisher lining up to try to score his 4th goal of the day, close the gap. Again, USA still leading by 6-4.
Could be 6-5 here.
Got Tommy Biddle in defense in the goal mouth. And that one looks like it just went to the right. If I'm not mistaken, the ball floated to the right.
Oh, the pressure's getting to them. The FIP representatives up there in the grandstand. FIP being the Federation of International Polo. The wife of our president, Richard Khalil. And now lovely back shot onto the stick of Del Walton. Beautiful back shot by Del Walton to give themselves some field position now. And it'll be Llorente looking to do exactly the same, and does so. Great shot, still inside their half. Biddle appealing for the foul there, didn't get it. Now big hook, Escapite. Escapite has taken the mallet straight out of the hand of Guillermo Torreira, and he is not happy. And whistle's gone.
The big hook.
Big hook. Let's have a look if we can see something on the replay. You watch here. So there's, this is the the penalty. So we're saying Del Walton there just across the line. He's getting a little bit too keen here. Let's have a look at this hook on Guillermo Torreira. So he's leant down and he's just ripped that out of the hand of his... so he's giving everything, Escapite, everything there. And, oh, there he is, Kenneth Lau, the famous commentator, waving to the crowd.
Pelon Escapite really took a full swing.
He certainly did. He was going to make that one count. And, oh, John Fisher, we're waiting to see. It's gone wide as well. So, this is very disheartening for a team. Look, Del Walton running up into position very quickly now to get this ball up, but disheartening when you get a couple of lucky breaks like that and you can't convert them. It can take the stuffing out of your attack very quickly. And it's now very important for Hong Kong China to just keep their head. They've still got another chukker after this, which is still plenty of time. And here he goes, Guillermo Torreira, showing no ill effects from the big hook earlier on. Back shot there by Del Walton. First one back onto it, though, is Fisher. Fisher claims the line, backs it across, looking to get to Facundo Llorente, finds him, gets it onto the stick side, but Llorente can't keep it. Torreira now looking for it. Torreira's over the line. Tommy Biddle rides in, trying to get the deflection off the board. I think he was actually trying to hit it out. And at the end of the third, Tory, it's 6-4 in favour of the United States.
Really, the USA could resort to more of a defensive possession game here and just protect their lead. Just keeping that ball in the Hong Kong half of the pitch.
I think it's a big risk, and as we go to the break, it'll be United States up by 2.
And welcome back to the Metropolitan Polo Club in Tianjin, one of our younger polo enthusiasts on the wooden horse in the warmth of the VIP marquee. We're at the quarterfinal stage. USA leading Hong Kong China 6-4. We're entering the last chukker of this quarterfinal as well, and it's crunch time for Hong Kong China.
Well, Tory, it's crunch time for both, really. You know, like it's sudden death, and we've got 6 minutes left on the clock to see who will. Oh, blatant foul there by Del Walton, and it's going to be a penalty right in front of the goal for Hong Kong China, and that's what they needed. But yeah, it's sudden death, so whoever loses here today will be going home.
Well, a blatant foul, but John Fisher has missed the last 2 penalties from the spot.
Yeah, you're right, but I think this one is going to be taken from the spot, which will be in a lot closer. They'll probably take it from where the foul occurred, not from back at the 20-yard line. So I think you'll be a little bit closer, probably have a little bit of angle on it, and he might be able to just roll this one through.
And the umpires determine the position of the penalty based on the severity of the foul as well as the probability of scoring a goal.
Correct.
We're at this 12 nations started this tournament. We're down to 8, playing it at 16 goals, 16 being the combined handicap of all the players on the field, and we do have a handful of some of the best polo players and arena polo players for that matter.
We sure do, and 4 teams going home earlier this week after the sudden death penalty shootout we had here on Tuesday morning, and Fisher then runs it in, makes no mistake this time, and they bring it back to a 1-goal ball game, and it's still USA up, but only by 1, and it'll be now the USA. It's Tommy Biddle bringing it in off the back line, and Escapite just trying to take Facundo Llorente out of it, but now he's gone up beside Torreira, the 8 goal, because he knows he's the danger man, and Escapite now creates a line there, and the umpires think he's fine, and now the ball's been taken away by Guillermo Torreira, the 8-goaler, taking it around in behind Tommy Biddle, leaves it behind now, gets an unlucky bounce. John Fisher, oh, whistle for USA. I think it was a little bit unfortunate there. Fisher thought he'd had it, but maybe they got him on the turning rule, and it'll be a penalty to the USA.
Just see the instant replay there.
Hard to tell from up here.
Judgment call. Now, as we enter into this fourth and final chukker. Often the teams play there where they save their best horses for the last chukker. I don't know what impact that would have in arena. It's not as if the horses run a considerable distance.
No, but you still, you might have one that's a little bit more agile that you bring out in the last that can turn onto the play. I know that horse there that Guillermo Torreira is a horse called Negro, who I think he comes from the Beltrees farm in Australia, which is the White family. A guy called Alec White played with Dubai this year in England, and that's his farm. And this horse is highly sought after. I think it might have won a champion pony here, either in the Super Nations or in last year's Snow Polo World Cup. But it's now Hong Kong China on the attack, and Facundo Llorente puts it through. But all the work coming from Negro, the pony of Guillermo Torreira's, and it's now all tied up.
Timely background on that pony.
Yes.
And he shows his worth. Tommy Biddle immediately bringing the ball out for the USA, trying to counter that last goal from Hong Kong China.
USA quickly over the advantage line now. They're into the danger zone for Hong Kong, where if they can get a lucky bounce here, the United States. Oh, lovely shot by Tommy Biddle, puts it through. He's gone for a lovely big neck shot about 30 yards out from goal and just slotted that through. And what a great goal. What a good comeback. And that's how you can take the stuffing out of a team there, when you've got Tommy Biddle, gets the deflection off the horse's leg, then opens the shoulders, and a lovely big neck shot straight past the front of John Fisher and puts it through. And it's now Hong Kong China in all sorts of trouble down in their corner, being kept in the corner by a very strong defence from the United States. You know what they say, Tori, the best form of defence is attack. And Fisher there, always solid at the back. Very hard to get past him, but the United States have done it 7 times now. High scoring game, Tori.
Indeed, indeed. We spoke earlier about some of the earlier matches being far lower scoring editions. But this one is proving to be worthy of its quarterfinal. Exactly.
Very much so. This is what the crowd came to see. Unlucky bounce there for Torreira. He gets caught up in traffic, and Escapite straight onto the line now. Big neck shot, back shot, I should say, required by Fisher. Lovely little near side by Tommy Biddle, but again, it comes off the pony's leg. Torreira can't keep it. Near side now, Fisher again hits Torreira's pony. First onto the line will be the USA. Will Tommy Biddle get enough on it? Goes forward and off his pony, so I think that will be
That'd be awarded to Hong Kong China.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be a force there or not. No, they're saying because it came off the horse. So
another shot of the
Torreira goal. Oh no, Facundo Llorente after. Yeah, exactly. That was a great goal. But it's now gone out over the sidelines. Back in the main game.
Last goal looked like the scrum of horses or ponies pushed that through the goal.
Can happen. There's the Kiwis watching intently. Very, very curious to see who they could be coming up against in the semis if they win theirs tomorrow. And I think they probably just want to watch a good game of polo, because it is a very good game of polo, Tori.
Tommy Biddle, we're down to the 140 mark. Hong Kong China threatening to equalise now.
That's what they want. They need to equalise now to stay in this game. Escapite can't look. Ball's in a hole now. Tommy Biddle clearing shot. He knows he needs to get it out of there, get it up over that advantage line of halfway. And there is Facundo Llorente. Escapite making a rare mistake and just leaving that ball behind. Now big ride off here. Tommy Biddle goes in onto Torreira. Torreira reads it very well, checks up and dances around him now with the ball. Keeps the ball there himself, running the ball forward now. Leaves it behind for Fisher. Fisher coming through. And penalty has been blown.
Looks like it's being blown and awarded to Hong Kong China.
Not sure what for, because they looked pretty clean from here. There was a hook. Fisher now going forward. Hook again. I'm not sure what.
Looks like it's been blown against Tommy Biddle, but
I think you're right. Umpires being down there on the field, one beside the line and one always behind the line. They have a much better view of these infractions. And this isn't going to be easy for Hong Kong China. One, they're under pressure, Tori, and two, you've got a little bit of a, well, they've got the breeze with them, which is good. You can see the flags there up against the backdrop of those amazing buildings here at the Fortune Heights estate. And but you know, he's still got USA can defend this, and if you hit it too hard, the ball can curve, as you saw earlier. If you hit it too soft, it may not reach. So if you hit it too soft, they can also defend it and hit it out of there. So let's see what he does with it here.
Guillermo Terrera looking to equalize for Hong Kong, China.
It's pretty good. He's equalised. That's what the fans came to see. A tied-up ball game with 1 minute left in the fourth chukker. Any team can win it from here. USA with ball possession but lacking field position. And look at the slow-mo there. The professionalism of Guillermo Terrera just coming to the fore. Now, a big near side by Escapite now. Puts a little bit on it. Terrera reads it very well, but so does Tommy Biddle now. Can the USA, as they run the clock down, just creep his way in towards the goal? He knows the 30-second shot clock. Clearing shot by Facundo Llorente. Could that tell the story? Will we be going into a penalty shootout, Tori?
And that ball cleared into the audience. It looked like Tommy Biddle was just trying to gently tap that down the field, protect his line.
Whistle's gone. Whistle's gone. Quick, lucky bounce here for the United States. Look at this, Escapide through to Biddle now. Tommy Biddle, he doesn't have much time left. He's going to have to go for it. I think he might have hit the wall. Del Walton's going to have to take it around very quickly. He's not going to have enough time. We're going to go to a penalty shootout for sure from here. And that's it. Wow, who would have thought the first quarter-final here of the Fortune Heights Snow Polo World Cup for 2014, and we're going into another penalty shootout.
So all equal after 4 chukkers. Players acknowledging the performance of each other. Certainly well worthy of a World Cup quarterfinal. We couldn't have asked for more. Guillermo Terrera obviously making more of an impact, becoming more of an impact player in the second half. Looking at highlights of this fourth and final chukker. There's the goals for Hong Kong, China. Again, Hong Kong, China being far more active or live in the second half.
But that's a great display of polo with those, 7 goals scored from each side. You know, they were putting everything in it. They were going to make certain they left nothing on the pitch.
So Adam, now take us through this penalty shootout. Each player will have an opportunity to score from the spot.
Correct. So what they do, they will run through both teams evenly, one after the other. They get 1 shot at goal from the spot. If they are equal, and then the team with the most goals after each player's played their shots, the team with the most through will go through. If they're tied up at the end of that, they will go into a second sudden death penalty shootout. And what that is where the opposing team can defend it, and the team that misses first, so if, say, Team A hits the ball through and then Team B misses, it's sudden death, and the game's over then, and the winners will be Team A.
So
and that just goes on until one team releases or makes a mistake, and
so it becomes more like a football penalty shootout.
Correct.
Should they finish here at 3 goals apiece after this first round of penalty shots. They were tossing the coin to see who will take the first shot on goal.
Now, as we get into the semi-finals, they'll actually, if it was all tied up at the end of the fourth for the semis, they'll probably they will go into a 5th chukker, and then it's sudden death in the chukker. So it'll be the team that scores the goal out of the field or scores the goal from a penalty. The first team to score in that 5th chukker will be the winner. But due to the resources of the ponies, and in situations like this, when you've got a host nation lending hundreds of ponies and the resources being stretched very thinly, they'll go instead to a penalty shootout to decide.
Unlike some of the tournaments you'll see in other countries, the UK, South America, Australia, players here are not playing on their own ponies. The borrowed horse event, the Metropolitan Polo Club. They are providing all of the ponies, and again, John Fisher, who's on the field at the moment representing Hong Kong, China, being the Director of Stable Operations here. We're going to be looking at some, again, action from the match before the start of this penalty shootout. Welcome back to the Fortune Heights Snow Polo World Cup. We're at the Metropolitan Polo Club in Tianjin. You can see there the mascots and one of our younger polo enthusiasts. We're in the first quarterfinal here at the Snow Polo World Cup. Hong Kong, China facing the USA after 4 chukkers. It's at 7 apiece. We will now go into a penalty shootout to determine who advances to the semifinals. I'm Tori Dorsey at midfield with Adam Bukert. Adam, so far so good. It's been certainly exciting.
It's been amazing, yeah, and the polo leading up to these quarterfinals also been amazing. But look, no stone has been left unturned here at the Metropolitan Polo Club. They have put on a world-class facility. The ponies have been world-class, like we said. All of these players travelling from around the world are being supplied horses by the Metropolitan Polo Club. So they've got, I think, 300 horses here in the stables, and they get put into a pool for the and the players don't have a lot of choice in which ones they get. The team is given a pool, and they can divide the ponies through, depending on which ones suit which player. But it looks like it's going to be now John Fisher for the host team coming in. No.
Looks like they're still
they're waiting on something maybe.
Up.
I think they might be waiting on Facundo Llorente to come back on the field before they can hit the ball.
Again, some of the other subtle differences that you'll recognize here in this Snow Polo World Cup being arena polo, 3 aside. Instead of a 7-minute chukker, we're only playing 6-minute chukkers. Not seeing a lot of change of horses at mid chukker, as was the case during the Super Nations Cup. And as well as after scoring a goal, you actually don't change direction in this form of polo.
Correct. Yeah, the colder weather, the ponies don't get as tired, they don't get as hot, and you can see here one of the earlier shots of John Fisher's. He'll be hoping that he's got all those out of his system before he gets into this sudden death penalty shootout.
Just looking at some of the action from the earlier stages of this match.
So the ball's been teed up there right in front of the goal mouth by tournament director Derek Reed and the umpires, the FIP umpires. I think it's JJ Alberti's put the ball in place, so there's no and the position's marked very clearly where they can hit from, so there's no advantage to either team. And that's the Brazilian team there getting ready for the next match. They'll be taking on Mexico right after this penalty shootout, so that'll be a great game as well, Tori.
Yeah, again, a fantastic lineup on both sides of the field for that match as well. Brazil and Mexico advancing out of the round-robin stage. I don't know if either of those teams were involved in the penalty shootout yesterday to determine the quarterfinals.
Yes, I think that
Brazil may have been.
Brazil had to play France to decide their positioning, but that's Tommy Biddle has missed his first shot for the United States. Could that be the telling goal? Could that be the difference between victory and going home on the plane for the United States? Time will tell as John Fisher for Hong Kong, China Comes in to hit his penalty. He hits it poorly. It's wide to the left. So Tommy Biddle now can breathe a sigh of relief because there's still a 0-0.
And no home field advantage for John Fisher.
No.
I think that's the third consecutive penalty that he's been missed.
Exactly, and he blatantly did change the way he approached that ball too, as compared to the first two penalties that he missed in the game. But now, Del Walton for the United States from Aiken in the United States. Hits it, and he's going to miss it as well. So the pressure really getting to these players, Tori.
You know, they're allowing that ball to roll on the field, and I don't know if that's a wise decision given the bumps and crevices from the snow.
Yeah, I think it's 6 to 1, half a dozen the other with this. If you get it up into the air, you're at the mercy of the wind. If you roll it along the ground, you're at the mercy of the divots. So I think it's Facundo Llorente, nephew of the great Tommy Llorente.
So Hong Kong having a slight advantage if they can score this penalty shot.
It'll certainly put the pressure on the last hitter for the United States. Looks clean. Will it reach? Only just, but it's enough. He'll take it. 1-0 now.
Momentarily, I thought that was going to go to the left as well.
It didn't look very promising, but it was there. It was good enough. He'll take the points.
So Polones Kapite, he must make this penalty shot to force Hong Kong China to play their last shot to win this game. But this is a must scenario now.
Hits that one very relaxed. Gave it enough, and it's a point to the United States.
So it comes down to her last player to take a penalty shot for Hong Kong China. I think it's aptly Guillermo Terrera, if I'm not mistaken. Yes,
that's him.
So the 8-goal player, the last, and this is for the win for Hong Kong China.
Can he seal victory like he's done here before? The highest rated player in the tournament. Hits it cleanly. And they have won. The host nation and defending champions have won through penalty shootout. They have knocked the United States out in the first game of the quarterfinals. An unfortunate loss for the United States, but a very good victory for the host nation, Hong Kong China.
That was a great start to our quarterfinals here at the Fortune Heights Super Nations Cup. 7-all at the end of regulation, going into a penalty shootout. And again, Hong Kong China, the defending champions, victorious on this goal by Guillermo Terrera.
The backswing there was just, you see how he gets a really good backswing on it? Just bang, opens the shoulders, lovely shot. And look at them, they're through to the semis now on Saturday. Hong Kong China with a great win. And
we're going to take a short break, but we'll be returning with more live action from the Fortune Heights Snow Polo World Cup in Tianjin, China.